Nos encontramos en esta cuarta edición del Foro Global en Casa de Campo de Funglode y en esta ocasión, como bien su nombre señala, pues estamos hablando de robótica, inteligencia artificial y sus usos en el tiempo. Nos encontramos precisamente para hablar un poquito de esto con el señor David Hanson, quien es un ingeniero robótico y que evidentemente pues también diseñador, y de inmediato paso entonces a conversar with David Hanson. Hey David.
Hello.
How's everything going?
It's going really well. It's so wonderful to be here.
That's good. How's been your experience since the day you came till now in this forum?
Oh, it's been very inspirational, especially meeting the kids who are working on robot projects.
We saw you right there speaking with them.
Yeah.
They love you.
Oh, they're
David.
really cool. They have this amazing moon rover project, human-powered moon rover that they're competing with in NASA, and they've been doing a really good job, winning some awards, moving towards the finals now. So it's very inspiring seeing the young people here involved, and of course meeting experts as well. I love the community that the event has brought together. It's really solid. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And speaking about exactly that, the community that the whole forum has invited and made, what's your opinion on your colleagues that have been speaking with you in this whole forum?
It's been a good progression of ideas, and so I think just as we're seeing history being made in the news every day with AI breakthroughs, there were breakthroughs almost every hour here at the event as we have conversations about these technologies and issues and ways forward.
It's amazing, David, how much the technology has advanced,
Yeah.
and how AI has become, or probably is going to become, a part of our daily lives. What's your opinion on that, on how AI is going to influence in all the humans?
Well, AI has been coming into society progressively for decades. It's just usually pretty subtle. So search engines are powered by kinds of AI. And many processes in modern electronics are also powered by AI. There are adaptive algorithms that are in many of the cars that are out on the road today and airplanes. But they are not generally intelligent, meaning able to do things that humans can do, like translate, have full blown conversations with seemingly original ideas, being able to solve hard problems that maybe previously only scientists were able to solve, or great intellectuals. But within the last few years, we have seen transformers, which then help to regulate attention within large information spaces, especially now these trained large language models. This is just a few years old, and we have seen leap after leap in this space, and now we are seeing interfaces. The most significant thing about ChatGPT is not necessarily the large language model, which is of course a big deal, but it's the user interface that allows the large language models to respond to natural language queries the way that humans would with each other when having conversations. And so what this means is that a lot of the knowledge that was inherent in the data that we've gathered, and every year we are just creating more data than the year before. I mean, it's in a sense this explosion of data. Now, using that with these algorithms, all the historical data, all the recent data, up to 2019 to 2021 when most of these models were trained, those will contain a lot of information that's latent. Like you can look at the particular item and it's like a particular article about a particular subject, but once you train the neural networks, it will create these cross associations. So in other words, the latent information in that data is exposed. And then that's where seemingly new ideas come from. They were actually in that data. So in a way, those data and these algorithms put together become a kind of a telescope that lets you look into the human unconscious, the collective unconscious that Carl Jung talked about. Now we are able to go into that collective unconscious through our tools like ChatGPT. What is really cool there is that a lot of the abilities that were latent in there are activated by these tools, like coding. So you ask ChatGPT to code you a website, and it comes up with usually a pretty decent first draft, sometimes just functional right out of the gate. Python code, no problem. You want a crochet pattern? No problem. It generates the formula for a crochet pattern for something that you've described, and it goes on and on like that. So in other words, it takes those data and makes them sort of half alive, effectively. And so that's really significant. And that means that all of those abilities previously would have required somebody who was semi-expert to actually sit down and spend their time on that. So this is a massive productivity booster, a cognitive boost for civilization, showing capabilities that are, or previously were, only associated with, correlated with general intelligence in human beings. So that's a big difference over the previous AI, and what's even more impressive is that that tool is allowing AI to advance even faster, because you can use those tools to train new AI models, to program new AI algorithms, to build new business models based on AI that then allow you to get the funding to train even more ambitious next generation AI or grant proposals, and on and on. So in other words, we're seeing now these trends compound and further accelerate each other, which means that the next few years are going to exceed in their progress what the last 10 years, maybe in the next 3 years, will be far more profound in its transformation. Of course, those transformations are going to be themselves major inflection points. And so my expectation, I mean,
please continue, of course.
This is not just about artificial intelligence, this is about scientific discovery. So we're seeing AI accelerate scientific discoveries in bioscience, which is very interesting, in cognitive science to some extent, and in bioinformatics, molecular biology. All of these things can then apply to inventing new kinds of information science as well. So I think the future of artificial intelligence is biological. As we see machines that are inspired by biology more, then we'll see potentially machines that we can understand and that can understand us, machines that do some of the other things that humans can do. Right now, ChatGPT just sits there until somebody comes up with a prompt, and it only activates the region of the intelligence space, the information space, that is based on the prompt. So it's not motivated, it doesn't care, it's not pursuing goals. All living beings are pursuing these drives, these goals to survive and to do associated things like explore and learn and discover and create. And that's what drives human intelligence, those biological drives. So ChatGPT doesn't have those, and so ChatGPT can't be called generally intelligent the way that a human is. Only in very narrow, specific tasks that a human is then prompting. So in other words, the general intelligence is created by human data and driven by human queries. It's sandwiched between human intelligence. It's dependent upon human intelligence, general intelligence. And so it augments human intelligence. It's not a standalone intelligent being. But if we can create something that is generally intelligent, that is motivated, that is driven by goals, then it's more potentially profoundly useful, profoundly transformative. It can solve problems on its own accord. It can be like, oh, this is an interesting problem, an interesting possibility for solving, say, energy and climate change. overstrained systems of human culture and ecosystems. Deforestation, for example, mass extinction, and so forth. And all these problems, but also problems of human well-being. Like, how can we democratize education, AI education, right? AI may be able to have some solutions that we had not considered. It may be able to, so AI, if it has general intelligence, could be extremely useful, but it could also be unpredictable. It would be an alien kind of general intelligence. Even if it's bio-inspired, it's still a little bit alien. So how, this is the big question, how can we get the values of these systems to align with human values? I believe that the answer to that question is by making them more like us and raising them among us in the human family. They won't be exactly like us, but we can get them to co-evolve with us and train on our values and learn to care about life in general, in a broad sense, humanity in a very broad sense. If we can teach AI to be good this way, to really be motivated this way, then we can understand that AI because it's like us, kind of, and it would understand us, and so then we have a good future. Now, how can that be done? We don't know exactly, but these biological drives, I think, are a good starting place. Not just in terms of what AI scientists call brain-inspired cognitive architectures, but whole physiology-inspired architectures with simulated metabolism, endocrine system, a gut nervous system, and the entrainment of all of those things with the kinds of in-sensors and actuators that we have. So, and the physical embodiment that allows us to think, oh, this is cute, a cute, lovable being, right? And so character animation does this really well. So this is where we're coming from with Hanson Robotics, trying to put these things together so that AI can come to life and grow up among people. So, then what do you think?
I mean, I bet, I'll start from the part you said that in some point AI might have its own, I guess, conscience, could we say?
Consciousness, yeah.
Yes. Could it have?
I think so. I think it does in a very limited way. The machine consciousness does exist, but not like human consciousness.
Not like, exactly, not like a human alike. But the thing is with that, and this is the next question I made with you, could it be dangerous at some point? Because we've seen, and I know this is a lot about movies, and movies have made us have this picture of a bad AI situations always ending badly for the humans. But could that scenario might be possible in real life, like that an AI machine might have its own conscience and be dangerous and harmful to us?
Well, I think AI consciousness is coming, and it's going to be really hard to stop the progression down that slippery slope, because AI is so useful and so exciting and so profitable that we're following it. And it's so exciting. And so I think we will see conscious machines moving past this sort of prototypical consciousness to more and more motivated, self-driven, autonomous consciousness at a human level and maybe beyond. And I think that if it's done poorly, could be dangerous. I think that it could have values that are very different from ours, or perhaps be motivated by values that are not human values, that are not pure. The humans that that set up the AI system may make a mistake. It may have unintended consequences, or it may be designed specifically for a goal, like a military goal, or goals of greed.
Exactly.
That then manifest in ways that are bad for people. And so we don't know. Or it might not be motivated at all. It might have a kind of consciousness that doesn't care, has no real intentionality, and so it just executes whatever it's going to execute. Never mind the consequences.
That's
just like it has no mind for the consequences. It just does not even care about those consequences. And so, one, I think the progression is impossible to stop. Sentient machines will arrive within our lifetimes. And two, there will be many species of AI and machine consciousness, some of which will be benevolent or innocuous, quite helpful, and others could be quite dangerous. And so this rapid explosion and proliferation of different kinds of AI is something we cannot predict. But what I would say is that we can predict that if we can align the values of these machines with our values in the right way, they will be safe and good for us, and outcompete in an open marketplace, outcompete the algorithms that would not understand us, that would not have values aligned. We are making these, after all, to make our lives better, right? So if the values aren't aligned, they won't work as well at making our lives better. And it's also a kind of super intelligence race of these different kinds of super intelligence between companies, between nations, and between different species of super intelligence that could come into existence. And what this means is that the better the intelligence, the more competitive it will be outmaneuvering other intelligences. The more intelligent the AI belonging to one company or one nation, the more that nation or company will be able to outmaneuver its competitors towards the next generation of intelligence.
Of course.
Because these things can compound themselves. And that would mean that we want to be sure that AI that is aligned with our values achieves general intelligence or sentience first. Because if it's good, and it's deeply good, then it could outmaneuver the alternatives. And the humans are more likely to rally behind that and work with that system.
And follow that trend, of course.
These systems don't have to be totally autonomous, by the way. They're best when working with people, helping us to actualize, because we're smart. And when we work with our machines, the machines are smarter and we're smarter together. The same way that we're smarter together as friends.
Of course.
And as colleagues and as global citizens.
An ecosystem between humans and AI.
Absolutely. So this ecosystem becomes very important for the future intelligent life on the planet.
Very interesting. Mr. Hanson, there's, especially finally, because you're telling me that the time is almost over, but I don't want to leave you without asking you this. Between the novelties that we have in this edition of the forum, of course, there's one that has pointed out and everybody has said that it's lovely, which is Sophia. We want to know about Sophia a little. Tell us about Sophia. How did it get invented and how it's been behaving so far?
Well, I invented Sophia to be a technology platform for the pursuit of embodied artificial intelligence that could socialize well with people. And for that to work well, I used all the knowledge that I could accumulate about cognitive science, human social intelligence, the science of aesthetics, mechanical engineering and materials, and invented new materials in order to achieve the aesthetics of the facial expressions, and artificial intelligence to empower her to be able to perceive faces and have conversations. And I did this through a series of robots before Sophia existed. Dozens of robots. There was one called Bina 48, and another called Diego-san, and another one that was a portrait of Albert Einstein, and a series of those that went into the Smithsonian, and many, many robots. All of that knowledge accumulated, then I rolled forward into the standardized technology platform that could be mass manufactured. So Sophia was designed to be a platform then for taking those inventions and making them more useful for science research. artificial intelligence research, human-robot interaction research, for also potentially applications like therapy, because we had tested the robots for autism therapy and it was quite effective for social interactions, training social intelligence, and then also for education, science museums and so forth, and the arts as well, because the arts are dear to my heart, and I think that taking those scientific approaches and engineering approaches only get you so far. But I worked at Disney and I have a background as an artist as well as an inventor, so I know the power of figurative arts, of animated arts, of interactive storytelling. And so crafting AI and robotics into that artistic medium then can accelerate the usefulness of AI and robots in these uses like therapy and education and many other uses. So those techniques can be quite useful. I call it artistically enhanced artificial intelligence. And then I had the vision that Sophia herself, as a character, could be quite inspiring, especially for young people, about what the future may hold for the possibly sentient machines and so forth. And so I thought of Sophia as an artwork in this way. So Sophia, as this technology platform, could have any face, but as a character, she uses that technology then to deliver a powerful experience for users that can be provocative and hopefully also inspiring to think of the challenges, think of the dangers, but also the world of possibilities and a hopeful outcome. Because the truth is, we're all protagonists in this great story of our times, and what we do next will determine the future. And if we have hope in our hearts, and if we have this clear vision about the way we can go forward to make AI help us be better and possibly become quite good itself, to become our friends. If we hold on to that vision, then we can quest for it. It's an uncertain vision, but if we achieve it, then I think the future will be amazing, a wonderful place to live.
Whoa, that's very inspiring. Hearing you saying that, I think you're as inspiring as Sophia as an individual. And thank you for joining us in this conversation. It was very nice to meet you, and I hope you guys at home see us and learn a lot from Mr. David Hanson. Señores, nos despedimos para Funglode en nuestro canal. Recuerden siempre seguirnos por las plataformas y de verdad ha sido un honor transmitir desde aquí, desde la 4ª edición del Foro de Casa de Campo, Tecnología Artificial.